my family. Helped my grandmother move out this year, dude.
You did.
Sold the villa.
Went to Bulgaria. Oh,
Mozambique.
indeed. And greetings unto you, beloved and holy friend. Why, thank you for joining me again on another day, another moment for us to bargain. Right. Maybe we won't be bargaining that much. Maybe we'll be bargaining a lot. Maybe we'll be getting more than we bargained for. A topic inspired, yes. A topic inspired by Melita today. You know, we were talking about getting cool tattoos, and she was like, "Be careful what you wish for. You might just get more than you bargained for." And I was like, Don't we want more than we bargained for? I think it's an interesting topic to touch on. Was what we did yoga for as well. That thumbnail. Did you like it? I was in the middle of a conversation with Christian when that got taken. Joy B is here too. Shannon, it's nice to have you. Gartha, dear friend. I'm hype. I got my Flipper Zero in the mail. What is a Flipper Zero? Do you know what a Flipper Zero is?
Do I look like I know what a Flipper Zero is?
I hoped he would know what a Flipper
I don't
Zero
know.
is. You have to try. You have to tell me, Kartha. Dry? Is Dry Historian here as well? There he is. Love to you. Thank you for joining us too, dear friend. Tell us, Kartha. Tell us. Give us things to be proud of, dude. Bargain. Bargain for our pride. Be like, yes, a Flipper Zero is this cool thing. Natalie Dahmer.
Natalie Portman?
Natalie Portman just joined us. Natalie, love you. Thank you for joining me, friend. It's nice to have you. What is my intention for my waters? I don't know if my intention is bargaining. I'm not here to bargain. I'm here to give you more than you bargained for. More. 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 Nice. More tastes good. Thank you, Maxine, for joining me too. It's nice to have you here. We missed you yesterday, friend. So much love to you. How are you friends doing? Beansy, thank you, Jovi. Was sending love to even Ryan is here as well. Brother Ryan, yoga is exponentially more than I bargained for, dude. Oh goodness. I think so, even though I am turning into one of those hippie yoga people.
Turning.
I'm not trying to get my parents to yoga. Oh. You know, and I was thinking about that today. Again, considering
I could get my dad to do yoga.
Right. Like I would love, they would love for them to do yoga, but no. That's not happening for some reason. But even though I know this and I feel this, I haven't tried to convince them. I haven't tried to show them the studies. I haven't asked them to try and find some time in their day. Nothing. None. I haven't tried to convince them for a second. And I was wondering about that, Christian. I try to convince people of other things sometimes.
Oh yeah?
But not of yoga. Maybe you are a little bit, but not my parents. And I don't know if I'm not trying to convince them because I think they won't listen, and this was a little bit more of the cynical side, if I think they're not strong enough. Right? Can you bargain with someone that believes that they're not strong enough to do the thing that you're bargaining for?
Bargaining.
Bargaining.
I am now of the mentality of letting people lead the lives they want to lead as long as it's not harming anyone and not the planet. Yo, I'm having some serious issues with people harming the planet, bro. Like the way I'm fucking seeing truck people just throwing 2-liter bottles out their flippin' window, dude. And like cigarette boxes and shit. And I mean, I wasn't the one driving, but if I was the one driving, bro, I would really like.
Watching someone smoke in the car with kids, like, yes, I was one of those kids. Heinrich, one of my best friends, old best friends. His dad would smoke, and his dad died. Oh, before 60 homes. He was a truck driver, and his dad would smoke in the car, and then I would pretend to die. I would like cough furiously. then I would roll down the window and I would stick my head out. And it felt in that way as well, like I was bargaining, right? My friend, his whole life was bargaining with his dad to stop smoking, trying to get him into vaping instead, trying to get him to stop completely, trying to get him into nicotine patches instead. But no matter how hard he tried, no matter how much he bargained with, he was bargaining with his dad's life. Could not convince him otherwise. How about that, Christian?
Huh?
My friend, though, was bargaining with his dad to stop smoking. Was bargaining with his life, right? That's what you're bargaining with.
I mean, I bargained with my mother.
And it was still impossible for us to convince them, dude.
I bargained with my mom and I begged her. I told her, Mom,
Please.
please stop smoking and drinking so much, or at least decrease it a little bit.
Mm.
She called me a pissy little brat and didn't speak to me for 2 weeks. For wanting something good for her, bro.
For wanting to save their lives, dude.
For wanting to be with her longer.
Mm.
Sorry about that.
You're being prissy, oh.
Pissy little brat, dude. That's the direct translation. Pissy little brat.
How do you say it in Bulgarian?
Piklu.
Piklo.
Yeah, it's a word for it. Basically means pissy brat.
And you know, in a way I can understand where your mom come from,
Mm.
right? Like the suffering, the existential despair, the hard work, the
And she
ungratitude.
actually was looking at me in disbelief when we discovered her sickness. She didn't know what to say.
Like,
I didn't know what to say.
because you either take responsibility or you're like, oh, this is so bad, how could this have happened? Pretend like you're not responsible, right? And taking responsibility isn't gonna make it any easier. Maybe it will. Maybe in the grand scheme of things it will. It'll be easier to bargain with yourself. Because at least you know you're the one that chose to buy the thing you're bargaining for. Does making sense?
I just encountered a patch of mushrooms and they're asking me to eat them.
Yes. A patch.
Note written in an unsteady hand. The first gate leads to Truthheim, where Thor thunders until Ragnarok. The second gate leads to Freya's Folkvang, for good men and women grown weary of battle. The third gate leads to Gladsheim, where the Allfather welcomes his blood drinkers. Concerning note to leave by a patch of psychedelic mushrooms.
Are you gonna eat the whole patch?
Yeah, I'm gonna eat the whole fucking patch.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, some psychedelic mushrooms.
Hey, here we
One or
go.
two.
Woo!
Eats the whole patch. Is my lighter dead? Please, Mrs. Lighter. Yeah, this stream topic took a turn, huh? How do you bargain with people? How is it that you can be bargaining for someone's life with them? And they'll choose death. They'll choose comfort. They'll choose believing they're right over doing what's right. It's a trip. So maybe with all of this in mind, it's time for us to bring it back. Ask ourselves, what is it we, as individuals, as conscious creators, are bargaining for? Right? I feel like I've definitely been bargaining for my happiness. I've been bargaining for my calm. I've been bargaining for my peace a lot. Right? Telling myself that, okay, I'll get to be at peace once this thing is done. And I understand it and I believe it. I believe that I'm doing it, and I believe that it is a truth and a joke at the same time. And you're like, what are you talking about, Mel? Washing dishes, for example. Washing dishes, washing your clothing, do your laundry. So the dishes are washed, right? Kitchen is clean, everything is nice. My clothing is washed, everything is hanged up and busy drying. But Christian was away for the last 2 days. right? So the first day I didn't touch the dishes. And then the next day I see the dishes still untouched. And I think to myself, I'll do it tomorrow before Christian comes back from his adventure.
Company getaway. It was bitching.
It was a bitching company getaway. He had fun. And
I got touched.
and I try
So
and
nice.
and I try and bargain. I try and bargain with myself, Christian. I'll spend X amount of time doing this thing, and then X amount of time doing that thing, and then tomorrow I'll do the dishwashing. Bargaining with myself. And then I reach a point, dude, where I'm like, dude, just do it. Stop bargaining.
Just do it.
Stop bargaining with me about when you're gonna be doing it, because whenever you do it, you're gonna be doing it now.
Yep.
Right?
In the now.
It's just gonna be
Only
now.
the now exists.
Then exactly. And I get up, Holmes. I put on another little, mental gymnastics talk. And I wash the dishes. And I talked about this yesterday, dude. Like, how can we convince ourselves to do things? And one of the ways you can convince yourself to do things that suck is to make it suck less. Right? So one of the ways that to make washing dishes suck less for me is to listen to a podcast or to listen to
Musique.
music.
I had a
Exactly.
good time washing dishes with musique.
So you're making it suck less instead of just giving up and not doing it at all. And the thing I'm trying to get at is this bargaining that we do with ourselves. How even though you're perfectly free, you have the infinity in front of you, you can do whatever you want to. You cannot bargain away the things you have to do. Right? And we try to with ourselves and we succeed. That's the real joke. You can't, but you do. And others do too. And then it becomes an ego problem where you've gotten so good at bargaining in one way with yourself about how the world is that you become identified with that way of bargaining. That's the medium through which you see the world. And then you get stuck. Not realizing that you're bargaining for peace, ultimately. For peace in this moment. Just, it's nice to have you, friend. I don't know if you're still here as well, Mercy, but love to you too. I hear Christian is back, so sunny and sweet as usual. Christian, to me, is like grapefruit.
Hey.
I love grapefruit.
Oh, okay. Cool.
I love, I like grapefruit to a concerning degree, dude.
Yes.
Because it's bitter. It is kind of bitter, but it has so many good stuff in it, right? The context. There is still some sweetness. The sweetness might just be masked by the bitterness. And if you can learn how to enjoy even the bitterness, if you can learn to notice the sweetness, if you can bargain with yourself enough to notice the sweetness within the bitterness, then you can enjoy it. You can really enjoy it. And I enjoy Christian's inputs, right? I feel if Christian is bitter, I'm like, sugar overdose. Like sugar rush incarnate, basically. And sometimes some bitterness alongside that meal can make things flow. It gives you a nice hiatus, nice little break in between bites. I just did the same, but Wiggle, my dog, does for me, hearing all of your greetings. Natalie, thank you so much for feeding into the joy. The flipper lets me copy RFID signals and also... Oh, goodness, you got that, flipper! What? Dude, that's like... The man's is like playing with hacker tools. Like some of the coolest hacker tools that there are right now. And sort of stuff. It has bad USB, which is totally rubber ducky. Yeah, literally. I made a script to open YouTube and rickroll people. Been doing it at work. My coworkers, they're getting a kick out of it. The deepest I ever went with that stuff is like opening people's CD drawers with like code. Dude, that's a very dangerous tool. It can be dangerous. The nice thing, you know what you do with those things, Christian? Automated tasks. So anything you can do with your computer, you can do with that. So think about that, right? So something you have to do repetitively. Like, I mean, maybe when you were still working for your previous company, that would be something that you would fuck with, dude.
Maybe. Seems like a waste of time. No offense.
So, like, this is the thing, Holmes. You waste your time doing this thing, and then that thing allows you a lot more time to waste. All right, because now something is doing your job for you. Right now, it is opening YouTube and rickrolling people. In the future, we'll get them subscribed to Meltmon. Oh, we love you, Kartha. You're such a cool dude, man. I hope you have fun with your new toy. Tell Christian Natalie Portman agrees with you, Mel. You hear that, dude?
Yeah.
Natalie agrees with me, dude.
Yeah, Natalie Portman.
I don't even know what she's agreeing with, but yes, unanimously, everything I say, Natalie agrees with. Natalie suddenly starts sweating. It's like, what's he gonna say next? I love you. Kate, what a cool pleasure seeing you here on You Now. What have you been thinking about this platform? Do you like it? It's nice having you here. How are you, friend? I'm doing well. Can you hear me properly? Do I sound loud enough? I do hope so. It's nice to have you here, Kate. How are you? I'm here with Christian. He's doing well too. How's the holiday season treating you? Anyways, back to work. I'll have my ears open, sending good vibes and energy to someone, to everyone watching. Follow your dreams and they will come true. Just for a few moments today. Follow whatever the dream is you want to live, right? Get closer to it. I feel like it's been this joke that I've been playing on myself a little bit of like infinity. You know, how do you make infinity tangible? And I feel doing something today, right? Bargaining with yourself how much you're willing to do.
Bargaining.
Bargaining. Are you willing to give 1% today?
Are you willing to bargain?
I mean, you've already given more than 1%, right? You've already socialized this morning as well. It's probably some socializing, right? People hungover, kind of wrecked, packing up, getting back home. How was the drives, dude? Back and forth. You drive with your car or were you with someone?
Nah, I went got a lift. I went full like lazy.
I mean, if there's spots for you,
Why not?
it would be a waste of fuel, yeah. So happy to hear things are going good with you, Kartha. Thank you, Shan, for manifesting some love in that too. Susanna, it's nice to have you. My mom smoked in the car and she died just past 40. Dude. My mom is older than 40, Christian. This shit murders my brain. I don't know if you, I mean, I'm gonna assume, but you also probably had moments where you're waiting after school and your mom is like 10 minutes late, and you go into like panic mode, like what if they died? Surely that's the only logical explanation for them not being here right now. You didn't think that? Was it only me?
Probably.
Bruh, I was preparing for the worst always. So yeah. If I couldn't even fathom, trip myself out into infinity at that age, I feel I love my mom even more now. I want her in my life even more now than I did as a child. Everyone speaks highly of her, even myself, but she smoked in the car with us. I didn't think she was an evil person for doing it. And like it's a hard stickler point for me too of inconsideration. Are you evil if you're inconsiderate? Right? Just asking yourself that question brings up more questions. And it's good to ask those questions sometimes. Johan! What a conversation to join in on, right? Bargaining of ourselves, dude. What an interesting one. And that's Melida's input, like the friend directly underneath you, Johan. I think that was her first, comment in today's stream.
Our Johan.
Yeah, I think it's our
Is he
Johan.
watching him?
Johan didn't expect it'll end up for inspiration for both yoga and the daily stream. You make a difference, Melina. If the universe ever told you that you are insignificant, you can be like, oh yeah, universe, look at this. Look at look at this universe. Yeah, this is now live on YouTube forever, right? I've mentioned you like multiple times that you've inspired this stream. So now the universe will forever be like, Melina is creating this, right? Where's Melina the stick, Christian? Did you have her? Oh, take more Melina, dude. More Melina. Stick made with magic, right? I had a pair of shears that and then it had like some bark on it, but I using electricity, wires extruded, creating a brush, spinning it with centrifugal force, having that stuff ripping the flesh off of this little stick, then adding beeswax and fire for the beeswax to sink in deeply. Shared with her and she was like, that's basically magic with a K. That you're taking the things of this world and you're making something new with it. So, learning how to magic. New friends are learning with me. We're learning together. If any of you know how to magic or how to,
Magique.
how to like make fireballs, move things with your mind, hit me up, please. Please teach me. I need to know. I need to know.
No, me first. I asked first.
I'm gonna be wizard.
I fucking asked first, bro.
You got this, Susanna. So proud of you, friend. Thank you for that, Shan. I appreciate your love. I just quit smoking. It's been 5 days. She just quit smoking, dude. And now we're on this topic. We're proud of you,
Congratulations.
Susanna. Can I ask? What you had to bargain? To do that. What was it your bargaining process was like for you to make that decision? Right? So we can all think about that. And I feel that's probably going to be the thing you come back to. Why are you choosing not to smoke? Probably health, right? Do I want to continue living healthily? Smoking 20 cigarettes a day probably won't help with that. And then making a decision to be differently. 5 days. 5 days doing something that sometimes we bargain with as a part of ourselves, right? And there used to be a very big incentive. Like you had a smoke break. Does your workplace have smoke breaks?
Yeah, all the time.
How many? An hour?
1 an hour, maybe.
1 hour.
Max 2 an hour.
So between 1-2 opportunities in your day that you have to go outside, take a breather, get away from your screen, stand on your feet, right? Like all of those things are good for you. But then we bargain with ourselves that we can only do these things if we're smoking. And then the smoking becomes a means to an end. Johan, I don't know if you're here, beloved friend, but Johan shared with us that his mom, has that fractal where she goes outside and spends some time in nature smoking a cigarette. That's how she does it. And now she doesn't want to let go of the cigarettes because she feels somehow she's going to lose that as well. And in a way, she might, because she might be less inclined to go outside and spend the X amount of time that it takes you to smoke the cigarette. Bargaining. So interesting how we bargain with ourselves. Shan Susanna quit smoking. Thank you, Shan. Good job. Not convincing the parents on yoga. I think it's good not to try to convince them of anything. Just to do what works for you and let them see. By the way, all the new tattoo ideas should have a 1-year waiting period. I have been planning tattoos for the last 2 years. And I haven't gotten any of them either, Brother Ryan. It keeps changing, keeps evolving. The idea I have in my mind right now is like and this is one I've been practicing for a long time, and this one has been more than 2 years coming, so I think I might be kind of convinced on this one. Because I have this tattoo here, right? So I want to kind of like do like a golden ratio that goes around, and then on this golden ratio line, I want to keep adding more molecules. Right now I have an oxytocin molecule. Next, I don't think I'm worthy of dopamine just yet. Not in the way that I consider getting these chemicals. I get the compound as a visualization on my body to be reminded of it, to understand how it can mess with my brain. So maybe I'll get serotonin. Serotonin I'll get next. Serotonin is the thing we use most for communication. So I think that'll be it. I'll get a serotonin molecule, and then I'll get, you know, dopamine, and then I'll get maybe cortisol. Ching, 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 ching. That one I've been thinking about a long time. I was the weird tattoo idea we were thinking about today is a sequence of runes, right? Like these runes that we make. Like starting from basically from here I was thinking running around my body, running around my leg, getting all the way to my foot. My mom would lose her mind if she sees any tattoos on my arms or something. She was like, I'm okay with you getting tattoos underneath your shirt, but you're not allowed to get them where people can see them. And I'm like, this is my lichaam, mom. It's my body, mom. But I do still think about her. I bargain with myself. Well, my mom is bargaining with me as well. Thanks, Joy. Thank you, Jump and Jack, for joining us too. Ryan, that is a very good advice about the tats. It is, right? Like, wait a year. If you still want it after a year. So, this is the advice my uncle gave me, Jock. He also has a bunch of tattoos. He suggested that you print out the tattoo you want, and you put it up like next to your mirror where you brush your teeth or something like that. That way, you have to look at it every single day for the whole year as well. And if you're sick of it, looking at it in the mirror after a year, you're probably going to be more sick of it having a tattoo on your body. I have no idea. Susanna, thumb speed. Hey, Cable is here too. Love you. Thank you for joining us, friend. It's the poet, though. Fastest. Most of us are bargaining for immortality. Everyone wants to leave their mark because we know time's fleeting, and the only certainty in life is death. I think we get wrapped up in and forget to truly love our lives. Beautifully said. I agree. Death is inevitable, right? But so is life. That even though death is one of the most frequent events, if you go out on a field, right, a mountainside, and you look out, billions of things have died in front of you over time, right? Billions. Organisms, animals, plants, etc., etc. Billions and billions and billions of death. And yet, as you're looking at this mountainside, seeing the greenery, seeing the birds, seeing the butterflies, seeing the ants on the ground, the overwhelming theme is life. That yes, death is inevitable, but living is as well. That death comes, but never stays, right? And that, as you've said beautifully, dear friend, finding the most out of this experience. I feel the age we're getting into right now will have more time than we ever have had before, but that isn't going to be an excuse to live less fully. I feel quite the contrary. If we have enough time to figure it out properly, we have to live fully. We have to try and do this well. Love our lives. Again, I completely agree. Thank you for sharing, Karta. When we should be bargaining for a life worth living instead. A life worth living. Christian, are you living a life worth living? Christian?
Sorry?
Are you spacing right now?
What?
Sorry. Are you living a life worth living?
Yes, all the time. What is a life not worth living?
I was gonna ask what is a life worth living, and then you like legit answered on the spot though. I didn't even have to say the words. What is a life not worth living? Is there such a thing? Yussi, we have aliens in chat. I just did my brain My brain will believe you, dude. Don't do stuff like that to me. Oh, my brain would be like, yep, the aliens are here. You know, I was weirdly enough thinking about that today, where I was imagining to myself that if a sufficiently advanced AI of from some sort of sentient alien species could completely understand quantum reality, everything that ever happened and will happen and is happening is recorded into space-time, and the aliens would be in some sort of way be able to access this information. They could be listening. That if we're going to be able to talk to the aliens, it's more likely that we talk to them through the internet than it will be that we talk to them through air. How about that? I don't know if I'm bargaining. If I'm please, aliens, please, only the internet. Not, don't come here, please. We like our spot of mud. We like it. It's already kind of cramped, or at least we are convinced that it is. I haven't done the dishes in 3 days either. Been doing the exact same thing, and I know, Johan. I can see it though, because I do it. I can see it in my own life. And if it happens to me, then surely it happens to all of us. And to not be like, oh, I'm so great. Oh. No, I do it. Until I don't. And that's the only thing we can do. Like, we bargain up until the point where we realize we're bargaining for nothing. We're bargaining to get nothing now and do something later. Right? That's what we're bargaining for. So, bargaining that you're going to do something now and then you're going to get to do nothing later, at least you're getting something. Right? Instead of getting nothing and then doing something. I don't know if this is like tracking, or if this is some mental gymnastic. That doesn't make any sense. I don't want to live forever. I don't think we can, Joyviv. Even if we got to live forever, at least to what our human brains would conceive as forever, it would still not be forever. Because forever is a very long time. An inconceivable amount of time. It is all the now. There we go, Keval. You already live forever, in the same way. That it's already now, and it's always now, and it's never not been now. And now is eternal, right? Again, infinite. This now has and always will be, and you smack dab in the middle of it. Be grateful, be loving. That's the only thing we can do. We can be scared and angry. This fucking moment is always here now. Or we can be like, this moment is always here now. Exact same words. Exact same realization and reality facing. And yet, vastly different feelings. Bargaining with yourself. BK. Love you, friends. Nice to have you here. How are you doing, mate? Joy, me neither. Every time I see those conspiracy theories about rich people planning to live multiple lifetimes, I'm like, but why though? Because it changes the dynamics of what we can do as individuals, right? Right now, the incubation period of innovation, of ideas, within the average human lifespan is 40, 60, if they're really ambitious, 80 years, right? That's the kind of frame you can build things in. If you can live for 1,000 years, suddenly the constraints change. And so do the things you can make. Right? I want to live 1,000 years. I want to live 1,000 years. I think 1,000 years would be kind of nice. Just 1,000 years. Maybe like at the high end, 10,000. But beyond 10,000, I feel like I want to die. And I do want to die biologically. At least this version of me believes that about myself. Right? This version of me wants to die biologically. And you know what the joke is? It will. It can't help but. It just did. It's already dead. And now I will continue living. So it's a bit of a trip. Right? You're already living forever. And this vessel, this version of you might not be the thing you want to live as forever. And that's why there are so many of us. Melt is all. Ways, great to see you, my friend.
Oh.
It's great to see you too. Are you seeing some gross shit?
A fucking raven just came out of someone's mouth.
Having my third eye violated.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, I live
Oh my
alone.
God.
Dishes just be chillin'. I know the feel. Think about the stuff you could see, those and enjoy. Like forever is a long time, but longer than 1,000 years seems like a good amount of time. You see, I'm tripping out that Johannes on the same tangent that I'm on right now. 1,000 years is not that much as well, right? If you just think about how long humanity has been around for, 1,000 years is like a little fraction. You know, the dinosaurs happened millions of years ago, hundreds of millions of years ago. So living to 1,000 is like nothing, not really. And I would just like to know, I would like to see some cool stuff. Since I've lost my headphones, I've become immobilized. Cannot make me move. Is that the barrier to entry? Getting you new headphones, Susanna? Howdy there, folks. Sounds like we're doing work today again, always. So, always is pushing, right? This part of ourselves that is trying to stay limited, melting ourselves, right? Love to a concerning degree. Yeah, like I become dangerous, you know. Maybe it's good to be dangerous. It's good to be dangerous if you at the same time practice control. Now I want some grapefruits. Me too, to be a little bit honest. Bittersweet symphony, right? When I spent 9 days debugging a problem to a program you wrote to save 10 minutes. That's the true cycle of coding. Yeah. But, and this is something you don't conceive of, right, Johan? Or at least it's hard for you to really hold in your mind always. Now, going forward, as you solve different problems, as you are faced with different problems, instead of going through the 9-day debugging cycle, you have the infrastructure to solve that problem
And the experience.
a little bit better. So now you're saving time in the future. Yeah, you'd save time in the future? That's a trip. Like that's one of the things I would like to do. Even if it's just the bottom half of your face, thank you. I'm happy that the bottom half of my face is sufficient. At least you can't exactly see my eyebrows or my eyes. Which is better? If you could only see my eyes? My name. If you could only see my mouth. Stop being weird, Mel. Fine. Oh, is it true? I can make a ducky script to open your channel and subscribe. Actually, I know you can do that. That's why I had to say it, dude. Go to the public library and make everyone sub to Mel. It's like, oh wait, dude. Every single person that uses the public computer just, suddenly this random ass hippie pops up, this dude is live. Just like, what did I? Oh well, guess I have to now. Checks it out. Has their mind melted. Hey, Maula, it's nice to have you here too. Thank you for sharing some good vibes, friend. Do it. Boat ride and fishing today out in the swamp. That sounds so sick, jumping jack. I was really lucky. I was born and raised as a swamp animal, barefoot and all. Your mom smoked in the car too, Johan? My mom smokes in the car with me to this day. Breathing a fresh breath of air for you, dear friend. That's terrible. I wasn't talking about the being late that Mel's brought up. Like my mother was the best. She was almost never late for anything. So it was a big deal when she was. Yeah, same. For me too. My mom was also never late, right? So the few times that they were late, your brain instantly goes panic mode. Melita, Melty and Christian was in my dream this morning. Wires getting crossed, right? I trip out about being dreamed about, dude. Is that weird to you?
I'm tripping out about being dreamed about.
Yeah. Like, if someone dreams about you, that's a lot. Alright? Like for me, it's not so much the fact that they're dreaming about me. For me, it's the fact that in this dream space, this creator that is you rendered me, created me so accurately that you know it's me. That you can have a conversation, you can look at my face, you can look at me looking at your face. And you're like, yep, this is happening right now. And then you wake up and you're like, wait a second. What? You're a powerful being. I'm happy to hear that you're dreaming, just in general. You want to tell us about it? Dry, that is quite bad. Does she always have the windows open? I hope so. What is it about? I'm curious as well. Hi, Melt. David Ganger, been too long. Good to see you. Good to see you too, friend. It's been all of this time, right? You can say an eternity. And now it's now, right? And the last time we were here, it was now. And all of this time was also now. A moment. So a moment has passed. And we're in this moment again. It's nice to have you, Brett. I hope that you're doing well. Hope this life is treating you well. Malty and Christian came to America to visit, and Malt showed me Melita up close. Oh, the stick! You're talking about Melita the stick? And he said in a funny way, yeah, Christian left to go find girls.
Huh?
Yeah, I can see Christian doing something like that. That's the type of person that Christian is.
For sure.
He's agreeing with me. Stop agreeing with me! I'm imagining that Lilo and Stitch scene, dude, where she's holding her finger out. She's touching me! She's touching me! I'm not touching you! You're touching me! No, Christian might go out and find girls, but he's gonna be back in like 15 minutes to talk about how concerned he is about going and finding girls. How he went out to see what girls there are to find, and now he is traumatized. I'm always late, and I don't mean to be, but I'm neurodivergent, and it messes with my prediction for how long trips should take, like getting ready to go somewhere. I feel I'm the same, Joy Vive, but at the same time, I'm extremely anxious and panicky. So my brain will plan for the same thing 15 times, you know, and then after the 15th time, I'm like, please, brain, mercy, mercy, brain. I know what I'm supposed to do. I'll do it, and I think I can count on my single hand the amount of occasions I've been late, ever, even at school. Like my mom. Yes, the amount of fights, let me backtrack. The amount of fights I saw break out with my mom and us kids preparing for something, getting ready to leave somewhere, needing to be somewhere at a certain time. And then my dad is just like getting things in the last moment, right? Making us wait half an hour in the car. It made my mom lose her mind, right? And she would be sitting in the car losing her mind, and I would watch her lose her mind, and I would be like, one day I would not like the woman I love to lose her mind like this. So in my brain it's like, don't be late. The amount of time anxiety I have, it's palpable. Ask Christian. I have some time anxiety when it comes to needing to do things at a certain time. Yasi. Things need to happen, you know, and
This is coming from someone that doesn't like being rushed, bro.
yeah, Christian doesn't like being rushed, and I also don't. That's the weird thing. I also don't like being rushed, especially if there's no reason to be rushed. But then sometimes I convince myself. Sometimes I bargain that surely now there needs to be some rushing happening. Tiger. I think I missed a bit. Oh, Christian's looking for girls. I'm getting ready to go somewhere. I feel a joy. It's literally minus 17.77 Celsius, where Maxine is right now, dude. Minus 17.77. I'm not surprised, but like I'm happily synchronized at that number. But that's rude, dude. I hope you're staying inside, Maxine. Your health. Yes, health. And I'm bridging the gap with zero THC joints, just CBD and CBG, which I'm walking my dog Mango. When I'm walking my dog Mango, I don't work regularly because I haven't been mentally well for 7 years. But my disability has changed, and now I have an opportunity to work without it being clawed back. Ooh, that brings joy to my heart. Susanna, something to do, something to channel your energy into, creating something for yourself. And I encourage or support your smoking of the zero THC joints. My brain is strange, Johan. Good. I have a strange brain. We have enough cookie cutter, copy paste brains at the moment. Can you live in all that snow? I'll die. I literally cannot even imagine what Maxine is saying at my face right now. Right? The coldest I've ever experienced is -5. You've experienced cold, right?
Oh, for sure.
What's the coldest you've experienced?
Probably like -12.
-12, so you also actually can't picture it. The coldest I've ever had is -5, dude. And I remember myself taking photos of my phone to go and show friends at school, bro. I was like, bro, it was -5 on the way here. And then it's like early morning temperatures. Oh goodness. Joy, my best friend, is like that as well. And I don't think it's bad at all. For me, I'm just super aware of time ever since I was a kid. Tiger it's 32 Celsius here. Yeah, it's a little bit warmer here. My best friend is like that. That is an interesting one. Thank you for sharing, Johan. You're so understanding, Johan. I don't know Celsius. David saying a 90-year-old melt of tattoos would not be a good thing to see. Really? Shit. Suddenly I'm super self-conscious, David. What's bad about that?
What?
Is there something bad about me being 90 years old and having tattoos as an old man?
No. I think my father pulls the same fucking argument, and I really don't think it's an issue.
I also don't see how it's an issue, bro. Like, I really don't. Like, I'm trying to think about the stories I'll be able to tell about my tattoos. Like, if people ask me, right, when did you get that one? That one I got 70 years ago, right? This 20-something-year-old, 30-something-year-old, 40-something-year-old person coming to the conclusion that a tattoo on your body is decades older than they are. That's a trip, right? I honestly believe that I think in fractals. Like this mind is a fractal generator. So every single time I look at my tattoo, the fractal of where I was going through, person I was at the moment I was getting it, the place I was in, the circumstances, the ideas I had about the world. There's so many fractals attached to this tattoo for me. And now as I keep looking at it, the fractal grows. There is this whole experience of what this thing means to me. And I want to get more for that reason. That's why I wear this crystal consecutively as well. It also is gaining experience the same way my body is. It's learning, it's listening, it's looking. This crystal is watching us too. My mom has tattoos. I have no ink. How about that? That's a difference. Most of us probably have ink and our parents don't. You're the outlier here, JV. Yeah, right, I've been dying. I don't know how people handle the negative temps. Goodness, layers, Johan. Lots of well thought out layers. That's perfect, Sam. Well, strange enough, it's not snowing. It's just balls cold. Johan, that's hot friend. I miss wearing my summer clothing. Soon again. Soon, I'm sure. My ex used to lie to me about what time things were happening, so I'd be on time. I sometimes start at 3, he'd say it started at 2. That is actually a little bit hilarious. Is that wrong? Is it wrong? Like I was reading My Ex Used to Lie, and I was like, oh, that's not okay. And then it goes into lying about time, and I'm like, trying to bargain with myself. It's some sort of lying, okay. Time is a human invention, so I'm pretty sure you can just say that you were on time somewhere, and that makes it true. I feel it is a human invention, but it's also a human invention that helps us meet each other, right? That we need dimensions to meet each other and connect in some sort of way. We need the dimension of, space, right? And the 3 that comes with that, being able to move around. right? And then there's the dimension of time. When in this little vessel are you going to move around in it, right? And if we cannot agree on what time is, then we won't ever be able to meet one another. Maybe haphazardly, but I feel like that's the thing we do it for, right? Kind of mind game B is that joy. You would stress me the fuck out. Time is a dimension that we're in, so we're always in time, right? There we go. Jovan going even bigger brain than that. Technically, even though you might not agree on time, if you could connect with each other without having to use time, right? That the connection doesn't come up as a, I need to connect with you at X time. It comes up, I want to connect with you. And then because we're both in this moment, in this same moment, that connection is automatically, right? How about that? Old people with tattoos look cool AF. I kind of think that too. I don't have a problem with tattoos, right? Tattoos is not something that I feel kind of creates any tension in my mind. It's not something that I believe is that bad for you, right? It's not great for you, to be completely honest. Like your skin doesn't actually like it, right? It doesn't. But it doesn't dislike it to the point of infection or dislike it to the point of cancer or dislike it to the point of the detriment of the self. At least I hope not. You know, what my body has told me about this tattoo that I have, it's not too upset about it, right? I can still do all of the things I used to be able to do. But the only thing, the only question, and I feel like this is something my dad would say to me as well, if he listened to the things I talk about, he would be like, you say this, but so and so. It's this question of like the earth, right? I am very anti-graffiti, right? I've seen people graffitiing like cliff faces. And there's a part of me that feels demonically enraged by something like that, right? Like I'm like, yeah, whoever did that needs to perish. And I feel that, and I acknowledge those feelings, and I come to the conclusion that even though you might feel this way, doesn't make it right. You know, there are better ways to do things. So it brings this question, you know, of where is it okay, right? Because we do make art, which is also pieces of the earth, but we do so through a medium, right? If we want to commission someone to make a work of art on the side of a building, it can be a work of art instead of it being just a piece of defacing. So maybe the bargaining I'm doing right now is, if you're gonna get tattoos, make it something meaningful. Make it something that is art-worthy. Make yourself more beautiful with this piece of art. Don't deface yourself, right? Defile yourself. And it's like, I've seen some wacky tattoos.
Me too, man.
Unfortunately.
Some really like,
Some concerning.
why?
Some concerning tattoos.
Bro, like why? Like South Park characters, why? Is it so meaningful to you that you would have it carved into your fucking body?
Christian's real colors are coming out right now. Do you want to show us your back tattoo?
Sure.
You want to see Christian's back tattoo? So I'll show you my oxytocin while he takes his shirt off. This is the tattoo I have. You know, so this is an oxytocin molecule, or at least the two-dimensional representation of a three-dimensional molecule, right? And this is Christian's tattoos. So the 7 deadly sins. This first one is the little ball with a big circle. What does that mean?
That's sloth.
Sloth. So there's all of this stuff you can do and how much you're willing to do. Then it's 3 with a circle. Greed. Greed. Wanting more. Then it's an arrow with a circle. Envy. Putting yourself in a loop.
Lust.
Yin and yang. Wanting to merge with something else, not feeling complete by yourself.
So pride. This tower.
It's the eye with a
Yeah,
tower.
pride.
Pride. Wanting to be sovereign above everything else. And it's like the stripe of
Gluttony.
gluttony. How do I see gluttony in this one? Wanting to eat too much, and then the
Wrath at the bottom.
wrath, anger.
So actually,
So-
the
so-
pentacle is supposed to contain evil, like wrath.
Like, I've actually been tripping out for a long time about the pentagram,
Pentacle.
pentacle, because it used to be something I would see in my visions, dude, a lot. I was worried about myself that I'm somehow evil because I'm seeing pentagrams, and then through like a process of bargaining, again, I was asking myself, why do I think this is evil, and how can I make it not be? And it went from the point, you know, kind of like being downwards, and there being horns, and then being the cheeks, and then being the beard. You just turn it upward. So the point goes up, and then it's arms, and then it's legs. And the way I rationalized, the way I bargained with myself, is to explain to myself that the pentagram is only evil, wrathful, when you use this vessel, this star, for the opposite, right? For the upside down of what you're capable of. Creation. You're capable of creation. But it's very difficult to create if you're literally hanging upside down. Maybe it's possible, but it's hard, right? So, what do you think of that interpretation, Christian? That you are the pentagram,
Oh,
a star.
all of this is me.
Yeah. Let's. I get that, but like I'm trying to think about this wrathful one like intrinsically right now. So you are that pentagram, that star, right? And then when you live evilly, you use that star upside down, right? That's why it's evil. That's why in our minds it has some sort of evil containing in of itself. But for you to fix that evilness is to just turn yourself upright, to orient yourself towards light, towards love, right? Have your head up.
I also got these tats because I don't think we should fear sins. I think life would be pretty fucking boring without sins.
Good point.
There's nothing wrong with it. It's just about.
You know why I agree with you, Christian,
Mm,
about our understanding, or at least this interpretation I have right now of problems. We love
mhm.
problems so much, to a concerning degree. And I feel those sins in and of themselves are problems to be solved.
I feel like it's okay to spoil yourself once in a while. You know? That might involve a little bit of sinning. Eat that fucking cake for God's sake. Like it's okay. Eat a cake once in a while. Just don't obese yourself to the point of heart attack.
You see, but then you can again say that that is technically gluttony.
What?
Eating the whole cake isn't gluttony. It's eating the whole cake every day for the whole year, for the next decade.
Sure.
That's
Depends on
gluttony.
your interpretation.
So maybe it only becomes sin in excess. That it never was sin until it became excessive. Bargaining with ourselves. How interesting. How interesting are these human beings? Look, if Keanu Reeves says no to the passage of time, so can the rest of us. Yeah, you know. How about we just don't get old? How about that? I bet he smells nice too, I'm sure. I'm excited for my mortal form to age with my bodysuit. It's all an honor to have the husk of this human. Life's too short to not get tattoos. To remember things. We forget so much, and a tattoo can help you remember things as well that you just won't with your mind. It's a trippy thing. I'll probably never get a tattoo, but I don't want to get old. We probably won't get old in the same way other people's used to. We'll get vaccines for being old within the next 10 years. You know, that's where we're going. I saw a few posts where some kids had scratched their names and dates that they saw these ancient rocks of tribal images from thousands of years ago.
That's
so
awesome.
much disrespect. Yeah, that stuff ruins my mind, Maxine. 777 showing. You Shmekshi, Sofa. It's nice having you here. Show us Christian's back tattoo. That is the most fitting melty tattoo I've ever saw. And I feel Christian is very fitting as well. My biggest tattoo is of a resurrecting dream I had of a skeleton standing in a field of flowers with a beating heart holding onto an olive branch. That's beautiful. I'm sorry for the wind noise. Who would have thought that wind noise would be Christian's computer? Getting hot in here. Melita is like, Yasi. She makes you men's stripping. I have no Daras to throw at the screen, unfortunately. Your presence is payment enough. You're being like, yes, I'm here for it. It's more than enough. Thank you, Slay. I'll take a picture to post it on Discord. We should do a tattoo thread on the Discord. That would be pretty cool, actually. We could see the tattoos we'd like to share. So cool, yo. I have done with an olive branch tattoo on my right. It's true. What a trip. What a trip, Shad. Is that a star? How is it pictured? It's just a star. How is a picture of a star evil? In my indoctrination, my lifelong indoctrination, they were very anti-Satan, right? And Satan was this thing to be feared, this thing that always is with you, and you're Satan, right? You're so Satan all the time. Ge is like our verb word, like you're getting something done to you. In our Christian, like this is the way I was raised, they tried to painfully convince me that Satan was trying to pull my strings. So every single time I would see the pentagram, I would have this strong aversion and fear of this symbol, instead of being able to witness it in myself and see how this symbol can teach me something about myself. Made a tattoo parlor thread and share your work. Thank you so much, Melita. I appreciate that. It depends on the stars, right side up or upside down. You see, Maxine also tripping out about the same thing. Sounds beautiful. Thank you, Mel. Thank you. I mean, yeah, you have mod rights at least, so I really appreciate you doing that. I mean, literally a picture of a star is just a picture. It's not good or evil. It is the simulacrum we attach to it.
The belief is what is powerful.
In the same way we have attached this simulacrum of Jesus to the cross, we have attached this simulacrum of Satan to this star, right? And the collective human minds are so powerful that we're literally rendering this thing together, that it is as real as anything else is, right? It's not more real than you. In fact, it is less real than you because it is a simulacrum instead of being a true version of self. We'll get into that again sometime else. The orientation of the symbol changes the meaning, joy. There's been 3 mornings in my adult life I decided to have ice cream for breakfast. No regrets. It was divine. I have ice cream in the freezer right now. Joy Vivas Lake. Are you bargaining with me for some ice cream right now? Yes, non-standard breakfast on my jam. Ramen breakfast have been my favorite lately. That sounds sick. Today I learned Meltmore won People's Schmeckschiest Man of 2023. You hear that, Christian?
Mm-hmm.
You think one day I'll be on People's magazine as sexiest man on earth?
Yeah, sure.
Look at this dude saying, yeah, sure. You first, Christian. I can't do Wizard King alone, though.
Huh?
I don't want to be Wizard King alone.
You don't want to be Wizard King alone?
I want you to hold my hand. I want you to take me to the world's Schmeckschiest photo shoot together. Being like, can I bring my friend? It's like, is he Schmeckschi? He's pretty Schmeckschi. Bumps me down to 2nd place. Bumps him up to 1st place. Random entry. This dude is actually not safest man. Dude, I'll probably just have some toast and eggs. My body sugar level won't go insane. I think that will probably be best. Maybe, if anything, have a single spoonful of ice cream. You can do that too. You don't have to have a whole bowl. I'm craving some egg Benedict. Get yourself some fats and proteins. So good for your body, Joy V. She's listening. Is Christian part of the Discord? I don't think he is.
9.
I don't think he is. Like, I feel that the amount of time we have spending, like, we used to spend a lot of time on Discords. Christian especially. He used to play these hour-long Dungeons and
D&D
Dragons
sessions,
and
man.
vampire sessions. Like, that was last November, dude, you were still doing that. Between 3 and 6 hours a week, this dude was just AFK. It was trippy. I'm not happy that you stopped, but I'm happy I have more time with you. Not to complain, just saying. Misty and Christian's posting poetry on his Patreon. Shannon, I was thinking the exact same thing today. I was like, where's the poetry, dude? Where's the... And I didn't say it, so I'm happy that you do. People are like, where's the poetry? Oh,
Yo,
where's the poem?
I'm taking a little bit of a break. I'll get back on it soon enough.
Shannon, I'm tripping out with the level of synchronicity you're tuning into in my mind right now. I'm craving grapefruit. The red ones especially. Wait, Christian knows about D&D. Is he a Stranger Things fan?
Of course I'm a Stranger Things fan.
But you haven't watched the 4th season, right?
I have.
You
I
have?
watched all of it, bro.
Okay, good. Yeah. Both. Vampire Session, eh? Curse of Strahd?
Sort of. It's like a spin-off of that. We've also played Vampire and Shadowrun, so...
Shadowrun is the only
Vampire.
one that I played with you guys. Once.
Not Magic the Gathering, Vampire the Requiem.
Your friends are on it as well. Cool imaginative games, but they can take a lot of time. I wrote a poem yesterday. Would you like to share it with us, Susanna? Maybe I'll wait. Maybe as I pull a card. I'm obsessed with Stranger Things. I'm going to lose my mind if Eddie comes back as Kaz. You think Eddie gonna come back? Bruh,
Doubtful.
Eddie died.
He got so eaten.
He died a kind of, and even though it's very noble, I don't like it. Oh, I feel like he's smarter than that. Oh, Eddie was a genius. Eddie was a straight gangster. Eddie was.
Dude played fucking Master of Puppets in Underworld Hell. I don't think you can get any cooler than that.
Yeah. Eddie was Maxine in that series, bro. That was her archetype, and I feel weirdly enough it was mine too. Wasn't it in your opinion as well? Like of all of the Stranger Things characters that you've seen, wasn't Eddie the one you resonated the most with?
I think Eddie was always misunderstood, which I can relate with.
Misunderstood, and you could see soft and compassionate, deep, but at the same time interested in more, right? Interested in the esoteric, the things that other people don't want to touch, right? Like, and I feel in Stranger Things they kind of like went hard at the pentagrams as well, you know, to kind of like hit on that point that we're touching on a little bit. I'll be thinking of Christian when Eddie comes back. Don't rain on my parade, Christian. I love him. I love him. He needs to come back.
Eddie got fucked up.
He got-
He's gone. Eddie's dead.
Eddie died. Okay, we'll pull a card. Let's see. Let's see if it'll be like the fortunes will tell us that Eddie is gonna come back this
I
time.
totally just spoiled everything for people that haven't watched the Stranger Things yet. Sorry! Sorry. Spoiler alert.
He's not sorry.
I'm not sorry.
He's only now realizing that he might have something to be sorry about. Yes, your computer is gonna
It's gonna
rift
flip
off.
and lift off, my dude.
It's gonna do backflips. This one. The light in your life brings the color to night. It's not just pastel, the cones in your eyes, so swell, paint the canvas of existence. Reborn from a distance, Apollo pulls the day across the sky. More. I think there is more coming now. We pulled an upright card. I'm looking forward to seeing what it is as well. Maybe it will be something synchronous with your poetry. Maxine thinking green or blue. What color do you think is going to be primary on this card, dude?
Purple.
Purple. I'm feeling yellows, but just because I've been thinking about energy today and getting more than I bargained for as yellow energy. Pulls the day across the sky, shows more color to the butterfly than I still stare a million miles out, holding love so true whenever in doubt. That's beautiful, Susanna. I'm gonna read to Christian again. I'm gonna be like, hey, we're poetry and you need to listen. And then we'll reveal what card it is. I'm really curious as well. My mind is getting tweaked. Christian, listen to this. Susanna made some poetry yesterday.
Oh.
She goes, the light in your life brings the color to night. It's not just pastel, The cones in your eyes so swell, paint the canvas of existence, reborn from a distance. Apollo pulls the day across the sky, shows more color to the butterfly than I. I still stare a million miles out, holding love so true, whenever in doubt.
That was beautiful.
Holding love is true, dude, whenever in doubt. Susanna, my brain, thank you so much for sharing that with me.
More.
You should join Cable's Discord and join the poetry talks. That's great. Yeah, there we go. Thank you everyone very much. Thank you for sharing. Let's see what this card is. Ooh. Maxine was straight on it. Green or blue? How about green and blue? He was like legit straight on it. Like 100% though. I think there's some yellow lines cutting through it, right? Oh. Put that cell phone back. But it's mostly green and blue. Look at that. Mermaider. Mermaid hearts, dude. Mermaid hearts. That psychic ability of yours, Maxine. Getting stronger still. The mermaids again. The mermaid hearts. I'll show you one more time.
Oh! They're fucking polar bears? What the fuck?
You're getting a polar bear, Christian. Get
Oh
ready.
my motherfucker, no! Shit!
This is what I have to deal with, yeah. I was just thinking that Deathlock song. The synchronicities. Friendship, laughter and play. 7 mermaids dive, swim and frolic in the ocean as light rays shine down from above. Christian in the background, it's beautiful. They express the essence of joyfulness, play, and friendship. Hearts created from golden spirals. I was talking about the golden ratio that I want. That's a golden spiral. Hearts created from golden spirals and form the camaraderie of this exuberant play. With 2 turtles, enjoy the show. The turtles again, 3 days in a row. Maxine, please send me a reading of what the turtle is supposed to mean. Because now it's been 3 days. We pulled the pentagram turtle tart, right? Like the card number 34, which is of the pentagram. Another connection there, actually. Then yesterday we pulled the card of gratitude that had a woman with turtles on her clothing. And then today, more turtles. So the turtles is melting my brain right now. You can totally see why you guys are friends, Lamal. I love him dearly. It's alright. From microcosm to macrocosm. From the spin of our DNA to the shapes of galaxies. Spirals exist everywhere in nature. They are the purest form of moving energy. How delightful that mirrored golden hearts create, mirrored golden spirals create hearts. Turtles all the way down, I tell you. You're right. Turtles all the way down. We're just gonna keep creating. Like, and we were joking about this weekend even, Joy Leave, where the model was like, instead of me having to deal with it, I'm gonna let these dudes deal with it. And then these dudes are like, instead of me dealing with it, I'm gonna let these dudes deal with it. And then these dudes are like, instead of me dealing with it, I'm gonna let these dudes deal with it. And it's just turtles all the way down. And now we're trying to solve the same problem we've been outsourcing this whole time. So many turtles. This card reminds you of the importance of laughter and play in your life. Do you find that laughter comes easily? Are you daily engaged in activities that bring you joy? Think about that, Joy Vive. I'm tripping out. Like I'm daily engaged in activity, and then Joy Vive has been consecutively showing up with me. Like literally, this thing that I'm doing is bringing me joy as a human being on planet Earth. I'm tripping out. Oh goodness. Do you connect with friends, sharing in laughter and merriment? In this demanding pace of life today, we sometimes forget how important it is to have a good belly laugh once in a while. It is also true that exercising your laugh muscles is enormously important for your overall health and well-being. There is proof that having friends with whom to both commiserate and share the fun of life aids in living complete and fulfilled lives. You friends. In laughter and play, if laughter and play comes easy to you, the universe smiles on your good fortune. If you have forgotten how to play, this card calls upon you to seek out friends and bring laughter and enjoyment into your presence. Laughter is infectious. Share the fun. What do you think about forced laughter, Christian?
I hate it.
Have you tried it for yourself? Not to force laughing, but to get yourself into a laughing loop. It goes like for me, it's squeezing out the air and then like catching it. Is that too much? Oh goodness, I thought turtles mean wisdom and longevity. Maybe. I didn't get to read. We did technically have the turtles reading for us on that card. Hey, of course Steve joins us as we're in the midst of manic laughter. Dude, this card is totally this space. We are the mermaids. Maybe that's what we're supposed to be calling ourselves. We're not melters. We're mermaids. You're like, what? Why are you mermaids? Because we say so. Some of us are Apache helicopters. Some of us are asparaguses. I don't know if I'm offending someone in the future. I feel like I have. Total nerd. Shan, I think that depends on whether or not the turtle is offering to teach you energy bending. That took a turn for me. I want to be taught how to energy bend by turtles, dude. That sounds like a good day for me. You friends make me laugh so much. Sometimes I bust out laughing and scare the crap out of Amaris. Just like said, whoa. People.
Man just threw himself off a cliff, bro.
Aspres? Aspres.
Asproso.
Bro, can't see your face, lol. What's your... That's your money maker. Steve. I'm not that hot, dude. I tried modeling. They were like, nah, fam. You're not the demographic that we're casting. Sorry, dude. Get wrecked or live 60 years in the past. Why did I just start laughing? Good, laugh. That's kind of scary. The fake laughing. Was it a bit much? I'm sorry.
I'm not.
I feel fake laughing if your brain hasn't registered something that should be funny. Manic laughter is instantly concerning. You're like, what is funny? Oh, what you laugh at? Are you laughing at murder? Why are you laughing? Why did I start laughing? That's fine, Sam. They were wrong. You're beautiful, Melty. I know. Thank you, Joy V. But they are right. You know, in my niche, in the world I'm in, they don't cast dudes that look like me right now because I'm not the demographic. I'm not the people that will be buying their products. So they want to cast people in those like, so wow. They want to make sure that I look like you so that you can be like, oh, I can be like happy like that if I buy myself Coca-Cola. I can do that, but no. Maybe it's a good thing that I never fell into that fractal. Imagine me modeling right now, Christian. Right? That has a little bit less substance to it.
Yo, it's struggle to be friends with you.
Exactly. Christian would hate me. He'd be like, think you're making the world a better place? People pay you money for wearing clothing, asshole. And I'd be like, oh, Christian, please, my heart. Don't lie to me. I saw those push-ups yesterday. I'm strong, and I do think I look good. I do think so, Steve. But I'm not going to continue being this strong or looking this good. Right? I'm gonna get old. I'm gonna lose my hair maybe one day, be completely bald. I'm gonna have wrinkles. I'm gonna not be able to do as many push-ups anymore. So I really do try to make the most of other places of strength. Like, sorry for smelling Melita randomly. I added a bunch of lemon oil onto it, and I've been smelling lemon oil this whole time, and I've been like, where is the lemon oil coming from? And maybe like I don't know if I'm making my own point better or worse with the midway distraction. Point I'm trying to make is that beauty fades, connection doesn't, love doesn't, you know, being able to understand things doesn't, you friends being here with me doesn't, you're my demographic. Thank you for the flattery, Joy B. I appreciate it. Revel in your time. Thank you so much. Hugs and love to you. Love to you too. Thank you, Jovan, for joining us. I don't know if you've been lurking or just here now. Love to you. Mina, I know that you've been tuning in with the little turtle card. I don't know how long you've been here. I'm just like tripping out about the layers. Have the most beautifulest day, everyone. I sincerely love you all so very dearly. Mel, Christian.
Bye.
And all of you absolutely gorgeous friends. My mom said you were hot. You hear that, Christian? Susanna's mom thinks I'm hot though. Weirdly enough, and this is something I've noticed in my life, people's moms think I'm hotter than the people whose moms thinks I'm hot. Is that grammar? Did I grammar that right?
Yeah, that was so grammar.
You understand what I was saying, right?
Grammar, dude, yeah.
You understand what I was saying,
Oh, yeah.
so it doesn't, I don't think it matters.
Yeah.
Because dude, like just think about this, Christian. Hearing my mom tell me how all of her friends want me to date their daughters, but none of their daughters ever getting close to me, like, in fact running, screaming away from me. And I'd be like, haha, joke's on you parents, I'm crazy. Didn't bargain with that, did you, Tani? Melt, brown, and cooker territory. I'll get eaten alive. I'll actually die. I'll die. I'll just be a skeleton. I'm way too prude and scared. Leon, Malty, you friends. Thank you. Thank you for letting me be silly with you, for maybe making you laugh a little bit, right? Tuning into this merriment, tuning into this moment. We didn't read something worth saying. Maybe we'll see if there's something somewhere. This one is a little bit of those in-your-face ones, Connor, and it's as you're coming into this, dude. So I feel this is almost specifically for you, Connor. What you are, in your essential being, is God. Love, death by snoo snoo. One of my favorite Futurama scenes, dude. You remember that one, Christian? The death by snoo snoo scene?
Yeah, sure.
Where they're looking through their sides and they see these people who have their pelvises crushed to dust. And then they're like, what happened to them? They got death by snoo snoo. And it's like, it's now time for you. And it's like absolute apparent horror and terror in their faces. And then extreme excitement and giddy and hopefulness. And then back to horror. Then back to oh goodness. Tunes, Connor, Melt with the big time cougar energy. I feel like I'm supposed to be running away. Maybe I'm supposed to get a sugar mommy or something. You know? How would that be, Christian? If I have like a 44-year-old divine feminine being. She's made her millions. She lives in her house in the Bahamas. You know, just wants me to be cute. You go make your pretty things, little one. part of my ego. Part of the ego that is masculine, you know, wants to be like, I'll do it myself. I don't need no help. And then the part of me that's feminine is like, help would be nice. I could not worry about things. Wow. All I know is that I know nothing. And more important than that is that I like challenges. I like learning. And I realize that the more I try to force myself to learn one thing or another, the more resistance I face myself with. And the more open I am to realizing that the divine feminine in everything is always teaching me, the better it is for me to be a student, right? Like ultimately every lesson you have ever learned has been facilitated, been allowed for by Mama Gaia, right? So technically, my sugar mommy is Earth. Is that a weird thing to say, Christian? It kind of makes sense in my brain. It feels like I'm making a truth statement, but at the same time, like you shouldn't be making that truth statement. I'm bargaining with myself. Thank you, Mama Gaia, for providing technically, our beloved sun provided the sunlight, but providing the oxygen, the carbon, the nitrogen, the water, the earth, the stability for this weed to be. Loiter is very reluctant. If I had more scratch, I'd be your sugar mama. Joy Vive. Don't you threaten me of a good time. I mean, she totally is all of our sugar mama, right? Right? Technically we're all getting so sugar mama right now. Every little bit of sugar you ever ate came from the collective mama. So yes, gang, sugar mama. There we go, sugar. I like that actually, Joy Vive. We'll be earth worshippers. I do think I'm a little bit of a sun worshipper as well though, so we'll just worship. We'll worship what is right in front of us instead of trying to worship something outside of us. Love is true, my godly friends, and I love you. Thank you for joining me, sharing a moment, even three. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate the time you spent. Have a good day. Go make it a good day. Bargain with yourself. Well, can you? Will you? Try. Please be like, okay, I know ego, you want to do nothing. I know nothing is what you would so desperately would like to do. But how about we do something? How about this? And then the ego is like, why? And then you're like, because then we've done something. And we can look back tomorrow, 10 years from now, knowing that the thing we're doing now is contributing to where we are then. And the ego is like, fuck that guy. And I'm like, no ego, please, it's you, dude. It's still you, but then. And you know why the ego fights it? It's because that version of it has to die for the version of you that comes to be. Right, again, that this ego wants to die, technically. It wants to die biologically. And over the next 7 years, not only will this version of me have died, but every single cell that make up this version of myself that I think I am will have died as well. I will have replaced all of them with the food I eat, with the air I breathe, with the content that I expose myself to. And you friends is the best of that in my life. Seriously, think about that. In my worldview, I go through my day and I see a bunch of stuff on the internet, right? And I believe a lot of it is good, but none of it gives me so much hope, so much inspiration, so much admiration like this view. Thank you, friend, for providing me this experience. Love you all. Enjoy the sun and warmth with me. Please do. Shug, shug, honey, honey. Rama dasasa say so hum. Sanskrit for worship of all the things. I don't know if I did it correctly, but I thank you for sharing it with me. Ooh, Marv asked something. Can someone please help me? Give me advice. I feel stupid for asking, but I'm shaking. That is such an open-ended question. Marv, let's spend some time in that. How about it? Let's just spend some time. We'll take a breath. We'll slowly let it go. Ask ourselves what advice we want right now. Right? What problem is it we're trying to solve? What experience is it we're trying to escape? What moment we find ourselves in? Maybe comparing how we've been in this moment before. Reflecting how we used to react. Considering if there's a better way. Bringing ourselves right back to that breath. Here we go. I think this is the actual question though. A young man just walked past my house with a very tiny kid that was crying. He told her she wasn't listening. She told him she was, but she told her she wasn't because she was still crying. That in his world, in the fractal that he wants to be a part of, you listening to him is ceasing to cry. Right? Instead of being emotional, true to yourself, you stop doing that as a sign that you're listening. But you're crying for the same reason or because of a lack of listening from the other side as well, probably. Do you feel there's something you need to do? It's okay. Then he started walking away from her, and she obviously became desperate. And I actually called him out to care for the kid. This, at least the way I'm interpreting it right now, feels like a very older brother, younger sister situation almost to me. Right? Like that's the closest approximation I can find. I'm waiting for more of the story. I'm trying to, I'm interchanging between the points of view from the side of the girl seeing this being older than her, someone that's supposed to be responsible for her, maybe just missioning forward without any regard for her intentions or her intent for the world. And this other person needing to get somewhere, feeling overwhelmed, frustrated with having to take care of this child, and just trying to move along without any distraction or making a scene. And they're not listening to you either. The same problem we always face. The same problem we always face. It's just super upsetting. He then started walking away from her. Obviously, okay, there we go. It's just super upsetting because she's like that. She gave me PTSD. I can't help her. Maybe you don't need to. Maybe the thing you're holding on to is a part of yourself that you need to help. Right? Like as you said, post-traumatic stress disorder, where you've been in a situation like that, where it feels like you were not being listened to and your emotions were supposed to be suppressed and made less of instead of listened to. And realizing that in this very moment, you're bargaining with yourself. Right? You're in this place where you're trying to find something, a solution, an experience that you're observing and you're feeling a certain way and you want to stop. You want to help. You want this experience of this person that you know, this girl that you know is the same as you, the same observer experiencing the world for herself. You don't want her to experience the things that you've been through. Realizing that the only thing you can do is ceasing to experience it inside of yourself. Bringing that back up. Almost drowning ourselves. We're here with you. You're being listened to. Your emotions, your feelings, your interpretations are not stupid, not unworthy. I'm proud of you for saying something. Thank you for sharing with us, friend. Emotional invalidation is what I'm getting out of that. There we go, Sam. Same. I'm feeling it too. And that's the only thing we can try now, right? Is to in this moment choose to give that. To give that which we're bargaining for. And then more. I wouldn't butt into strangers parenting, but that's just me, unless that kid was actually in danger. I've seen lots of people threaten children with abandoning them to get them to listen. Yeah, I'm pretty sure my parents did that too. It's definitely something that triggers something in me as well. And yet, fear of abandonment made me count on myself, right? And it's a weird dynamic, because it's good to count on yourself, but you're not really an individual. You're like, what the fuck? What do you mean, Mel? So you're breathing oxygen, right? Coming from thousands, billions of other organisms, contributing to this atmosphere that we're interfacing with. The water we're drinking, where does it come from? How many people had to do things for that water to be where it is right now? Right? So we're a collective right now. And we feel these things collectively. All of us have been through these things, have experienced them to some sort of extent, but it's up to us right now to make new experiences. Right? And you can look at old experiences, painful experiences, and teach yourself things that can bring you joy. That can bring more joy into the world as a result of your knowing. These things are not our curses. They're things that will make us strong. You did by calling him out. Unfortunately, it happens, although it's not a good practice. It is. Happens all the time. Something I told a friend. You're trying to help your past self through this current situation. It sucks to feel helpless. I feel like this space, and I was on the way out. Suddenly this space just bursts open. More than we bargained for. How about Today's stream topic is something like on day 701, Meltmore got more than we bargained for, something like that. So much more than we bargained for. Thank you, friends, for sharing so deeply with us all. I can see the depth of understanding in your friends' hearts. It's such a tough situation. The person that lives below me frequently verbally abuses her 3-year-old son. I've tried so hard not to get involved, but one day my SO said to her, "You're creating a monster. If you ask if they need help and they say no, there's not much else you can do." I have lost my mind over the situation too many times. It's just not my problem anymore. Doesn't mean it feels good. And it doesn't mean that it makes their experience less, right? I feel every single one of us have gone through various forms of abuse, right? I was never physically, well, like again, Christian, did you get your ass whooped as a kid?
Not too much.
If I told you I got my ass whooped in excess of 40 times during my whole childhood, would that be abuse?
Nope.
I don't think so either.
Not knowing the child you were.
But I feel the verbal abuse is worse for me. Verbal abuse when it comes to like brain damage. I honestly feel like my family is trying to brain damage me my whole life. Is that a weird thing to feel about my family?
Nope.
Just dude. The trying to convince, the bargaining with me to believe what they believe. It's astounding.
That's their entire job, dude.
It's trippy. It's very trippy. And even though these experiences were, as you said, trying to help Joy Vive, trying to help your old self through this current situation, that current situation that person is going through, as good or as bad as it may be, it will contribute to the person that they are. And it has been that way for all of us. And there is this part of me that would like to go back and undo things said, things felt, things experienced back then, right? Because back then contributed to who I am now. And I can tell myself the story of how back then is holding me back right now, or I can tell myself the story of how back then is pushing me forward right now. And it's the exact same context, story-wise. But the way you articulate it to yourself, the way you bargain with this life, right? Am I playing with losing cards? Let me, just fold. Doesn't help me play. Nothing I can do, is there? That's bad bargaining. You're basically choosing to bargain for nothing instead of choosing to bargain for something. What flag is that? You got no flag. Maybe there's a South African one next to my username. Thank you, Sean. It's nice having you here, friend. Thank you all for caring. Damn, Susanna, that sounds so rough. Maeve, thank you, friend, for opening the space for us to talk about this stuff. There is some rough stuff happening for all of us, all of us, and I think we probably have it better than most. And I don't know your story individually, but bad things happen. Very bad things happen to a lot of people, and yet we're still capable of showing love, and that's the thing that inspires me the most. You friends are doing that right now. Holly, thank you, friend, for joining me, for sharing some love. Yes, the action may make the man think twice about how he acts with this little human made. Thank you, friends, for echoing as well. Can a little girl feel cared for just for you calling out that guy? She sees that in the world she is noticed. She's not completely lost at least. Beautifully said. Thank you, Vindira. That's so nice of you, dear friend. I appreciate you publishing the YouTube. I don't know if we have clickable links, but I appreciate this UNA space as well. I feel like it's not what it could be right now, but it will get better, surely. I can feel it as you did, as much as you can do. Many people don't know how to balance their nervous systems and not flip out at the kid. It always makes the situation worse. You did your best. Thank you, Susanna, so much, friend. I appreciate you, friend, spending some time in this. I also struggle with CPTSD. Do you know what CPTSD is?
No?
Child post-traumatic, probably, and getting triggered in a nightmare. I'm proud of you for overcoming a panic response to speak up for someone else. Power. Eden. Woo! Suddenly a rush of love comes over my body. Beloved friend, we're talking about moms today. I was thinking about you. I've been thinking about Corey a lot as well. Sending you so much love. Oof, popping in during a heavy spot. Hit me lighten the load of some love. Your love hit me like a truck. Thank you so much for sharing some of it. Use the strength in your heart to recognize that you're a node of love in this life. Love is our responsibility. Y'all are absolutely precious. You friends take your responsibility very seriously. It inspires me so much. Makes me want to do even more. Thank you, friends. Complex post-traumatic stress disorder. It's not bad enough that just normal post-traumatic stress disorder is complex. You had to complex the complex thing. Goodness. Thank you, friends, for giving so much more than I could have ever bargained for. At the end of today's yoga, I mentioned as well that I could have never, not even remotely, bargained for what it is we have right now. Right? I showed up and I kept showing up, but I wasn't bargaining in the sense of I need to get something. Like I'm tripping out right now. Like I feel just having this moment. Knowing that you friend, that you're sitting there right now on your side of the infinity, having lived a whole life, having hopes and dreams, having had this experience of being as much as me, maybe even more than me, potentially more than me. Average? Definitely. But there is so much of an experience happening in this moment and we're creating it. Can't bargain for this. And you friends are creating it. Thank you. Love is the only thing I can feel here. Deep and profound certainty in that love. Thank you, Connor, for creating it as well. I appreciate every single node who decides what to show up for every day. And you don't have to say anything as well, right? You don't have to bargain for this love. It's not a chipping system. You don't get love by saying something or get love by, being profoundly awakened. You get love by enduring, by showing up, by seeing whatever the stream holds. That every single time we go live, sure, I show up with a question to the universe. And you friends are the universe. Right? And then this whole stream kind of comes out of that. You friends melt me. Thank you. Thank you for doing so much. So happy to see that regardless of where you are, the purple cup follows. May we all have relationships as solid as the relationship Mel has with that cup. Hermias Blur. I believe the things we have are sacred. Everything you have is sacred. A relationship is on a next level to that. Because it's not something that you own. It's something and someone that actively chooses to spend time with you. And this is a relationship, right? We're doing that right now. I'm tripping out. I'm feeling the strength of this relationship. Wish I could hug every one of you. Hug yourself right now. And just hook into your shoulders. Oh, squeeze yourself a little bit. Feel the neck. I see like a ribbon. Has like yellow, and then blue, and then yellow again, and then blue. Waving. Thank you, friends. Thank you for spending a moment. Meltfest 2023. Dude, maybe 2024. Like I don't want to limit myself, but I also don't want to be zealous. Maybe 2024. Like I want to do it good. Dude. I want Meltfest, the first Meltfest, to absolutely be brain melting. Right? I want it to feel like this is something that has always and will forever exist. It should be like, well, this is some sort of simulacrum that the universe has always been created, but now has become completely manifest in three-dimensional form. Somehow, through mind, the infinity has intersected physicality. That's what Meltfest has to be, dude. Otherwise, I can't do it. We'll have to make. We're gonna do it together, dude. I'm driving. I'm driving. That would probably be dangerous, but self-love is important. Please do. Mind hug. Mind hug. Meltfest. Thank you, Susanna. I don't even know if we'll be able to use the words Meltfest because I think Meltfest might already be trademarked. Somebody already got that shit. Who knows? Who knows what it will be? It will be beautiful. At least that's what I want to see. I'm playing you through the TV with Fruit Cup. As you wave your hands in the air, she's mirroring with waving hands. Perhaps your youngest watcher. Dude, my brain was not ready for that information. That's amazing. I'm trying to see. I'm trying to understand what it's like not understanding me. Right? Because this whole time, when I think about you friends being in this space, it kind of comes along with this understanding that you understand me. At least to some extent, right? You understand English. We speak the same language. And eventually there will be AI that, translates the things we say into a different language so other people can tune into this fractal as well that don't understand English. Okay, thanks. Hey, Joey. Thank you for joining us. So, now I'm tripping out about a baby witnessing this space, seeing something that they have absolutely no idea what's happening, but seeing body language, facial expressions. Because my dad used to do this to me. He would lean over my cot and he would be like, and then I started doing it as well. I'm the only one. None of my siblings can move their eyebrows individually, but me and my dad can do that. So kids pay attention and learn things that we don't even know how to teach. Think about that. Your kids can learn things that we cannot teach them, even if we try to. And my brain is, oh goodness, I'm getting so melted. Thank you, Eden. Thank you for sharing that with me. That's so cute. Envision Fruit Cup doing that. My brain just had a little bit of a meltdown trying to, who needs tears? I wanted to have a party in my huge yard with a huge fire and lights all in the trees. Whew, that sounds amazing. Shanna, I can see it already. It's so cute to envision Fruit Cup, Meltmore Fest, TM. Maybe more fest. Right? More love, more connection, more understanding, more compassion, more dancing, more spirituality, more sustainability. Sending love to Brandon. I've been thinking about him a lot. I actually talked about him today with Christian. The tarp slip and slide. That sounds sick. We will find the trademark holder and take it. It was like, hey dude, can we have that? And then this person is like, no, Meltfest is mine. And we're like, no. Grabs onto it, starts pulling it from their arms. It's mine. We're gonna treat it well. Don't you worry. No, please. No. I'm so sorry, Connor. Is this going in the book as best of streams? Yes. This one is going on the list. Thank you, friends, for making so most I'm tripping out. Actually, my brain is getting melted right now. I feel like this is one of those streams where I'm trying to explain to myself what's happening, and the only thing that I can come up with is love. It's like I'm having some sort of error statement. It's like love over love, 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 love. Stop wording and experience. Yo. That's the oddest thing. I think that one might be one of my top weirdest things I've ever seen. It was like these pillars coming out of the ground, and then they had like a face that goes like almost like convex, and then neck, like rounded neck, and then there was like a chin, like in this convex shape, and then it would like go neck again, right? And then when I noticed there was like face-esque features, I noticed there were these slug creatures with these big foots, right, like slug foots, slowly moving on the surface. And they were holding briefcases, and they were wearing suits. And these slugs were walking to work. And the space was infinite. At least I didn't see any offices. Oh, so what is that supposed to mean? What is that supposed to mean? Bargaining? How much do those snails know how much are those snails being paid to be able to bargain with themselves to crawl for hours towards their workplace? My mind is getting melted. Thank you, friends. Thank you so much for making this space more than I bargained for. I feel like maybe now I get what Melita was talking about. Maybe this is what Melita meant. Like, I honestly, my brain feels warm right now. I don't know if it's my scalp that feels warm. I actually feel like I'm being melted. She's laughing at the faces, adorable. Lots of love to you too, even a rambler joining us. Y'all are absolutely wonderful. Thanks for being so rad. I remember when you are on there, the world with the magic is real, and you are loved. As much as you, thank you, your friend, for loving us too. This was a really great stream, and you made it what it was, Susanna. You were like putting, fuel on the fire that is the Meltmore. Information floweth. I remember reading something about fully grown adults actually breaking bones on slip and slides. I'm gonna pretend I didn't hear any of that and continue holding on to my childish wonder. I'm thinking about Sena, actually, sending her love too. Slip and slide down a hill into a river, sign me up. Some risks are worth taking. I really like slip and sliding as well, so I agree. So glad I caught this stream, needed this today. Love you, Rambler. Thank you for joining us too. Error 404, love overload. How about that, dude? Where's Kartha? Figure out how to code for that. I am overcautious because I live in a deep hold my beer territory. Oh yeah. Yeah, alcohol alongside bad decisions, that's usually a surefire way to make extra bad decisions. Error infinity, love overload, piggybacking off of you tunes. I like it too, thank you. How much are them snails getting paid? How much do they have to get paid to do that? I want to know, Joy V. Because they were silent. They didn't have faces, technically. They didn't have speaking mouth parts. They were just kind of like smooth and snaily, right? So they weren't even like vibing, chatting it up, walking to work. They were just walking to work in silence, holding their briefcases, moving centimeters at a time. For some reason, I feel a deep compassion. I want to bargain with them. But they won't understand me. What do I need to give them to stop working? My brain is getting more melted, please. I'm not ready for all of this. Getting more than I bargained for. Melita is probably not even here. How about that, Melita? I'm getting more than I bargained for, and I don't even have to admit to you that I got schooled. Maybe Melita in like 10 years He's gonna have access to all of this information. He's gonna be like, "Hey, oh, you silly goose, you." Snail boss, you're late to work. Snail, sorry, I left yesterday. I should have left day before yesterday, dude, but I had my kids, so my kids wanted to like play with me, and then it took us like, you know, almost like half a week to walk to the swimming pool, bruh. And yeah, snails aren't usually too chatty. Probably not. I observe tunes. My brain is turned to goo. I need a big shroom trip with you all. I could only imagine. I feel like I'm tripping shrooms right now, Connor. It's a little bit concerning. Someone spiked me. Did you spike me, Christian? You came home today, right?
Mm-hmm.
Has today felt weird, like time dilated for you?
Nope.
Christian is covering his tracks. He gave me so many drugs or something. Oh, what? They don't meow? I feel tired. I feel light too. What sounds would snails make if they did? I mean, they do have mouth parts. That's why, brain. For some reason, it had this shot of like a snail crawling, and then people coming up to it with a camera, and then his little face lifting up, and as soon as his mouth opened, they was just screaming like sheer terror for this camera being put in their face. They were like, let's hear what sounds snails make. And then the one moment that they recorded, it screams for its life because it's terrified. Meanwhile, snails actually have this whole ecosystem of like highly intelligent, articulate entities. But because of that interaction, that exchange of terror, we only believe snails scream. What is my brain doing to me right now? What? Why? Dude, my brain is like, it's rendering faster than I can keep up.
Stop brain damaging yourself.
Only underwater snails, man. Good. Now it makes sense. Okay, I'm touching on. You will be the trip sitter, Szymanski. You need someone to keep us sane. Yeah, Shannon's gonna be the one that's like sober and it's gonna be like, hey, y'all are just tripping. And we're gonna be like, Shannon is clever. Shannon is paying attention. All we're gonna get back to ground. Could you imagine all of us on Hayward Hill tripping balls? We have to imagine that. Only imagine talking about very deep snail things. Imagine very deep, it's like away, dude. I'm Snail Dave. Name Snail Dave because that's what my mom called me. All of my siblings are also called Dave. It's very confusing. We kind of joke about it. Weirdly enough, might just be the thing we bond over the most. Maybe my mom is a gangster. My mom is actually 10 times smarter than I am, isn't she? I feel like I just had an actual conversation with a snail. And like I became enlightened as that snail. What's happening to my brain right now? I want to end the stream to feel like I can be normal again, and yet I feel like I need to be normal before I can end the stream. And so suddenly we're trapped forever. That would be surreal. I'm tripping out about the surreality of this conversation. I'm happy to get trips with it. Snails are so rad. They rock the Fibonacci sequence on their backs. They live inside a Fibonacci sequence. That is pretty gangster. Mal, it would be perfect to animate some of the goofy stuff we make up here. I need the snail office. Yes. You see? Like, this is the kind of stuff that I'm talking about. Connor, this is the kind of stuff that we're going to be doing. We just don't have the tools right now. We have the creativity. We have the joking. And like, if we're going to be of course, I'm joking, Eden. I'm very much joking. I'm tripping out in this perspective of like trying to create a narrative, a story, a skit, right? That you can give people that they can be like, that's kind of funny, right? It can make someone happy, and that's the point. Your friends make me happy. Your friends inspire me. Chores, foreman named all his kids George. Every single one of his kids, George. even the girls, also George. Oh goodness, please say you're joking. I hope so. I do hope so. I thought that was a Family Guy gag, Joy, for real. I wouldn't be surprised if it's both, a Family Guy gag and real. No, hoping Joy's joking about all the George children. It's totally for real. Joy is not joking. George. What is, okay? Stop. No more bargaining. We have come to the end of the stream. Thank you so much for joining me, for making it what it is. I can feel you in the cosmic mind right now. I appreciate you spending some time here with me. I'll see you again soon. Goodbye, everyone. He got punched in the head, so is this pressing really. And 2 more minutes will be, but you know what? I'll wait for 11:11. After that, you deserve friends. Like, I just remembered, actually. Man, the night is young apparently, Christian. Because I have coffee that I haven't drank yet. And I only drink like half my cup. And then I leave the other half for later because drinking a full cup is too much for me right now. And then this time, I put it in the freezer and then immediately proceeded to forget about it up until this moment. So it seems I'm gonna be caffeinated. Look, oh, look at this. Look at these crystals. Isn't that sick? Oh, that's amazing. Actual crystals of coffee that grew in my cup because of cold. Christian, look at this, dude. You wanna come closer?
Where did you put that?
In the freezer?
Why?
Because I wanted it cold. Look at this. Look at those crystal structures. Yeah, see? What? You know? Like, now I can tell myself, oh no, I should have drank my coffee sooner. But now I got to see coffee crystals. Thank you. 11:11. Sending good vibes to you. I'll see you again so soon.